Hi, my name is Kelly Amos and I'm a health coach. And today for your tiny health tip, I'm going to talk to you about how to create habits, how to bring in habits. This is a great time of year with New Year's resolutions just ahead of us, as well as maybe some other things that are going on that you really want to make sure that you're continuing to do and you want to learn how to do it. So the first thing that you need to do is whatever your habit is, you need to see where it's going to fit into your day or your schedule. Some things are kind of obvious. They have to happen in the morning, have to happen at a certain time. Maybe it's a medication or a supplement or something that you have to take, which actually I'm going to use as an example. But so find where it will fit in. It might be something that it's better if you do it before something else, a certain time of day, or based on the amount of time that it's going to take, you need to see where it will fit into your life. So number one, where are you going to fit it in? Number two is, which is the most important part, is what happens, what is your prompt, what is your trigger, what is the thing that's going to happen right before you want to do your habit. So my example is I need to take several supplements. And I have to take them at certain times of day, and I just don't really like doing it at all. And so the evening time is really the best. I used to get up at 3:30 in the morning to teach a cycle class for 19 and a half years. And so I'm really used to getting up early in the morning, but I want my coffee and I don't want to work for anything. So I have this already pre-established habit of the last thing I do before I go to bed is get all of my coffee ready. So I'm going to have an Americano. I will take my coffee out of the cabinet. I get my cup ready. I fill the tea kettle with water. So I already had this regular evening, nighttime before I go to bed habit. That is my prompt, my trigger, my cue that is going to get me to take my supplements. So what I had to do is I had to move my supplements from our pantry to right here. So when I open, I know I'm going to get my coffee. So I see my supplements and that's how I take them. There's another supplement that I've recently started taking just for a temporary period of time that needed to happen at a different time. So I had this new challenge of I can't just throw it in because it needs to be consumed with food in the morning. Well, in the morning, I already have a pre-established habit of every single morning I drink Shakeology. So I keep my shaker bottle right by my espresso machine. It basically gets washed and then it sits right there. It doesn't get put into a cupboard. So I keep my supplement that I need to be taking now at night. I keep it right here because I will see it. I know I'm going to be here at night. I need to take it in the morning when I drink my shake. So I move it right onto my shake. So my prompt or my trigger for taking that one is still getting my coffee ready. I move it to my shake because then when I go to make my shake, I will see it and it will prompt me. So that visual is cue, whether it's a visual thing that you're doing that will remind you, will prompt you, or maybe you put a Post-it note somewhere where you know you're going to be to remind you to do it. So that's with taking something or consuming something. What about doing something that is an action or an activity? Recently, I've had to do several different PT exercises, and I'm already moving a lot, and there's a certain time of day that it's best to do one of the exercises. So I incorporated it into my warm-up. I know that I'm going to work out every day. I know the importance of doing a warm-up. So I have made that be the first part of my warm-up before I do my other regular things. That's my prompt. So my prompt is a pre-established action or thing that I'm going to do. My prompt or trigger is I'm going to warm up. Oh, I need to do my PT exercises first. Now, what if it's something that's more of a thought or an action with someone? Maybe you're wanting to, maybe you respond to someone or not responding to somebody the way that you really want to be. I'm going to give you a couple different examples here. So my husband is a football coach and I own my own business. So I'm actually, I work a lot out of the home and my work time does fall into evenings and early mornings just because that's when people are wanting to communicate. So I was finding that every night when he would come home from work, I would be working in the living room and I would be continuing to work. And I wasn't really acknowledging him much. I was like finishing what I was going to do, and then I talked to him, and I didn't really want to be that kind of wife. So I had the prompt or the trigger was when he's home, I'm done. The prompt or the trigger is, how was your day? So I can hear a little bit about it, and we can at least communicate and check in with each other, and then I can go back and finish my work. But I was feeling like I needed to create this habit of engaging with my husband the first time that I see him when he walks in the door. What if you're responding and you in a way that you're finding you're not showing grace. So with that, it might be that you really need to research a little bit more, just pay more gathering more data on yourself. What is the trigger? What is the prompt that is causing that response? That is making you feel that way. So is it a certain person? Is it a certain tone? Is it a situation? Is it driving this direction? Whatever it is, where you're starting to have feelings that you really don't want. You want to have different responses. So my suggestion there is going to be to figure out what that trigger or that prompt is and just stop. So your trigger or your prompt is not to respond anymore, it's to stop. It's to stop and just think about what your choices are. I have a choice to respond the way that I always have. I have a choice to respond in a different way, in a more compassionate or caring way. And I also have a chance to not respond at all. Maybe it doesn't need to have a response, and it's really just kind of a waste of negative energy. So again, the prompt or trigger or cue is key. If you're finding that it's not really working, find some other visual. Maybe you need to readjust the time of day that you're doing it. If it is something that is a habit that is a little bit bigger and is not something that you're really excited about, you really have to see value in this habit. And if you don't see value in it, you can do whatever you want. You're not going to stick to it because you don't really care about it. And one of the challenges that I see, that I know, is that when you're trying to make healthy lifestyle changes, whether it's nutrition or exercise or other wellness behaviors that might even seem trivial, it's hard because one of the things about habits is you get a reward. One of your responses is you get a reward. So if you are rewarded for something, then you're going to continue to do it. And if you aren't really seeing the effects or the benefit or the reward, then you are less likely to continue to do it. So one of the challenges, again, with having a lifestyle of health and of wellness and doing all these little things, the challenge is you don't really get to see the benefit for about 10 years or more. It's all those little changes and things that you're doing to prevent negative things that are happening, and you don't necessarily appreciate the positive side of that at the time, to know that I prevented cancer, I prevented heart disease, I prevented diabetes, I prevented my being having to rely on others, I prevented having to take all these medications. So it really is one of those things that you have to kind of reevaluate and really try to find those intrinsic motivators. And if that's not working enough for you, then finding some of those external or extrinsic motivators as well. So this is something that I actually do for a living. So if you have any questions or would like to get some ideas on how you can implement some things, then just comment here in the section about some things, and maybe we can get a conversation going. That would be great, because I'm sure other people would want to hear that too. Or you can message me and we can have a little chat. Okay, I hope you're having a great weekend and enjoying all the holiday things that are happening now. Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you or see you before then. I'll get you out of here in just a second.